Welcome back to Greenwich Valley for episode 18 with me, Mr. Silly P. Right then, this is one of the more bizarre ones I've done. I am, actually, ladies and gentlemen, I'm down at field 109. We took on the sugar beet harvest contract. As you've already seen just now, we are contract complete. I think I did 8 loads with the trailer that they supplied me. That takes 31,000 litres. So we did 8 loads at 31,000 litres. The harvester kept going and then came up saying contract complete. So again, I don't want to click on that because that will cause problems, but we're going to get paid 15,287. The harvester is full with 30,000 litres of sugar beet, and there's still all the rest of that to harvest. That's all of ours now. That's ours. The 30,000 litres in that, plus all this that still needs to be done, we can do what we want with it. So what I'm going to do is load up our trailer. We'll carry on with their harvester and we'll load up that trailer. Both loads will go back to the pig farm. We'll feed the pigs, and then whatever's left will go into storage. If we get a good price at any point on sugar beet, we might sell some. If not, that will just sit now in storage for the pigs. Again, as I've said, I know you may be getting tired of hearing it, but it's free pig food. I've just been paid to harvest it. So couldn't be happier. It's a win-win all round. So it is dark. I've been running this at normal time as I always do. It's 8:35. I reckon we're going to be looking at about 9 o'clock before we're done. Then it will be off to bed and get ready for the morning, I guess. Probably, yeah, we are going to be getting on with doing the silaging, I would imagine, into the bunker silo. It's just before 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm already down at Rob's. Today's going to be a busy day involving a fair bit of multitasking. Our fields of oats are also ready to harvest. The harvester is already out on field 32 or field 33 with Stuart, depends which one he started on. We are going to be baling the straw swaths. Haven't quite decided on what we're going to do with regard to baling. Now, as far as the sugar beet goes, I had the full 30,000 litres you saw last night. The rest that came off that field was another 15,962. So as well as completing the contract and earning about 15 grand on the contract, we then came out of it with 45,962 litres of sugar beets. The 30,000 litres I put into the trough already. They took all of that. The rest of this is going to be going into storage to feed them on another day. The other thing is, because the pigs are reproducing really well, I think when I came to the farm, Rob had 8 or 9 of each, I think. He's now up to 14, if not 15 of each, I think. So at some point we're going to help Rob haul some pigs. So yeah, he'll be getting rid of some of those at some point. So I'm not too worried about the feed situation now moving forward because... like I say, if he does sell some, that'll mean the food that's in there will go further because there's less pigs to eat it. Now what I'm going to do is take this over to field 30, whichever field it is that Stuart's working on. I think he's got a full load of oats, but today is about shifting that silage. The bunker silo is done fermenting, has done fermenting, and is good to go. So we're going to be going to lease some conveyor belts. I'm trying to decide what belt system to go with. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Couple of things we're going to be doing. We're going to have to spend a bit of money for the process we're going to be doing, but we will make that money back on the back end of the process. So I'm not too worried about us forking anything out. Now, as well as the contracts we've done overnight, there was also a fertilising contract we got on with really early this morning. That was over on field 4, so we've just tipped over 400,000 again. which means we're going to pay another 100 grand off. We could pay another 200 grand off, to be fair, but we'll do 100 grand. And then we'll get today's processing done, and we'll go from there. Because if we are harvesting at the same time as getting rid of silage at the bunker silo, we're going to be selling those oats as well. So we're going to be making some more money back on those. Oat prices are pretty good. But as with all of these things, the oat prices are good because the yields off oat fields aren't as high as some other crops. So we're not going to get as much crop, but we'll get a better payment for it. So it all kind of balances itself out in the long run. I am going to be using the fast bale, the new Vicon fast bale. We're going to be doing round bales for the straw bales. Two reasons. One, I want to be able to just keep going, which I can do with our square baler. Two, I want to use the Vicon fast bale. I want to give it a go, I want to try it out. I also, part of that process is we are going to be pelleting the straw bales, because we can get a really good price for straw pellets at the barn. So this time when we do that process, well not today, but when we get around to doing that process, rather than pelleting, we are going to be just pelleting all of those and selling the pellets. And I want to see how well the whole pelleting process works with round bales as well. So it's a bit of a kind of, there are 2 or 3 processes again I want to try out, hence the reason for using. Now I could use any round baler for doing that, but because I want the kind of constant flow, I think it just makes more sense to do that. So what we're going to do is leave Stuart over here to crack on with this. Potentially Rob or Debbie might come over and help with a bit of hauling, I don't know, maybe I'll do a bit. But we really do need to go over to the biogas plant and get sorted. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, so while you see me up at the store in a minute, we're going to, or maybe down at the biogas plant, we need to pick some moving stuff, you know. There is going to be a little bit of chaff stuck out the front still though, isn't there? Don't know if to pick that up first or just get that picked up with the conveyor belts as well. Problem is the actual digester won't take it. Okay, let's give that some thought. There's going to be, as always is the case whenever you're using the belt systems, there's a little bit of trial and error, a little bit of fiddling around. Sometimes it's a bit fiddly to get it to work right first time. When you get the right configuration and it does work, off you go. You just leave it chugging away and you can be pretty much good as gold. Sometimes the belts need a bit of adjustment, but generally speaking it can be okay. So off to the store, let's get some belts, let's get down to the biogas, let's get the bunker silo uncovered, and let's get cracking on getting this stuff put in. I am jack of all trades today. I'm all over the place. Right, the belts have all been leased and they are down at the biogas plant. I'm in the process of just adjusting everything to try and work out the best way of doing it. And then I got the call from Stuart to say that he's carrying on with the harvest. First full load of 30,000 litres of oats is now off of field 33. Turbine grain is the best price for oat at the moment, so this is where we're going to be offloading it. There's still more to harvest on field 33 as well, which I'm really pleased about. We should do alright out of this. So like I said before, the whole premise behind this is that we're going to get the money for the oats. The straw swath will then be baled. We'll then make straw pellets, which we can sell at the barn for a really good price. So we're getting a double whammy off that field. So let's see what we're going to get. Should be about 32, 33 grand, shouldn't it? Something like that. Is my maths right on that? 36. That's not too bad. Right, so I did say earlier I was going to do this and I completely forgot. Let's pay off another 100,000, shall we? Job done. Right, get this back over, and now I'm going to get down to the biogas plant. The belts are pretty much set up, but like I say, Sometimes they can be a bit finicky. I'll explain what belts I've got, what the system I'm using, and then we'll kind of go from there. There are all different variations you can use, and you don't even have to use belts at all. Or you could use a pickup belt into a trailer, then a trailer to a belt over by the digester. There are so many options, but again, we'll have a look at that in a minute. I'll say a minute, a few minutes. So here we are, down at the biogas plant. This is the setup. Like I say, whether it's going to work or not, I don't know. Now, in the middle, we've got the Grimmer TC8016. This conveyor is a standard conveyor you can find in the store. The beauty with this is it extends right out, plus it can be swiveled so you can turn it at various different angles up to 90 degrees, so for going round corners and stuff like that when you're moving things. That one is brilliant. These two, the Grimmer SL8022 Quantums, these are not the standard ones. These are the ALX versions that are made by a local inventor, manufacturer, Top Ace 888. Now these come as part of a whole package that he provides. I think you understand what I'm saying. Under silos, he builds and provides these. So these are root crop storage from Top Ace 888, and as part of that package and that deal, you get access to, under belt systems, that one on the end there, which is the ALX. Now the standard one there works perfectly well, nothing wrong with it at all, extends, raises, lowers, all the rest of it, but this one does give the option to take material from the ground. Now that's normally the job of that belt there, the Lizard S710. That's your kind of pickup conveyor, but this one will do it as well. So I've got two of those. The plan is this one will take it out of the silo, drop it onto this one, which will then drop it onto that one, which will put it up into there. Now, do I need one of these ones here? Not necessarily, but the theory was if at some point this stretch of belts gets too long, potentially this one could dump on the ground in front of it and it will still pick up, in theory. So the reason I put this middle one in as well at the moment is because, and that one's not extended as far as it can go, as we start eating into the silage here, we'll need to push this one further into the pile, which means we'll need to extend that belt longer, and this belt can be extended right out to the end here. So we do have a bit of wiggle room. Also, I think if we come back a little bit from the edge, I mean that will tip it into the digester as it should do. If we really were out of stretch, I think we can kind of tip here and it will still take it. I'd rather not, I'd rather it goes in like that, but again, now I don't know how well this is going to work. So what I'm hoping is that when we do that, it will go directly onto this one, like that, which will go onto that one, which will then do that. And now we are getting rid of our stuff. Now this will fill up at some point, because as you can see that number's going up, which means that's filling in at a rate quicker than the digester can digest the product. So at some point this will reach capacity. At that point I'll probably need to turn up time a little bit to ×5, just so the digester can keep up with the flow rate. But as it stands, that is working. We are selling our silage, and we should also, if we check in here, we should be producing... Oh, this was the one that didn't show it, did it? We have to actually go to the tank to check. Our digestate should be going up as well. So our byproduct in the tank over there will be going up too. But this is now working. So that is picking up from the ground. As you can see, it is gradually eating away at that. See that? Now again, I'm teaching Granny to suck eggs. If you've been playing this for a long time, you already know this. You've probably done it a million times. If you're new to all this, this may be a whole new process that you've never actually looked at doing. You might not have touched the belts before, you might not have wanted to. These ones from Top Ace 888 are absolutely brilliant. The SL80 Quantum ALX, awesome bit of kit. Now at some point the range that extends out to will reach its limit, which means I'll have to roll that one back, and these you can get in them like in any other vehicle and you can drive them, so I can move that further back, and when I do that I'll extend that boom further out, so these two will stay exactly where they are. That boom will extend out. When I reach a point where that boom is at full extent and I still need to go back further, I will then extend this one. If I reach the full extent of that, not sure what I'll do at that point. I could get another one of these and put it in the gap between. Again, we'll see. But as it stands, we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We are processing. That's worked out really well. Now sometimes at biogas plants, the bunker silos are a really long way away from the digester, so setting up a belt system can be not impossible, but it takes a lot of belts, and with the addition of more belts comes the potential for more complications. Sometimes the bunker silo and the anaerobic digesters are in different orientations to each other. Sometimes you've got your bunker silos this direction and your digesters over here, tractors in the way, over here, in which case using one of these to make a 90-degree turn is perfect. I mean, you can put as many of these together as you want. You know, you could have 20 of them going across an entire field if you want to. It's entirely up to you. I'm really pleased how well that works. That works so much better and quicker and easier than I thought it would. Although what I am worried about is as soon as you start to turn up time, we will whiz through the day at quite a rate. Now what I'm going to do is open up my help menu. I did that without going through the menu. I've got my side panel plugged into my PlayStation. Let's see what we've got. 624,000 litres. So we're chugging into it. I may need to adjust the angle of this as well at some point because it's not quite catching that. So I may need to bring it over a little bit just so I can catch all of the silo as we go. Well, no, it's taking it though. It's going down, isn't it? Anything we've got left we'll mop up. Now the beauty between, sorry I know I'm talking a lot about this, but the beauty between this and when it was on FS 17, on FS 19, once the biogas plant is bought, the price for silage is set. So that price stays exactly what it is. Was it 17 or was it 15? I'm trying to think now. The price fluctuated. So the problem you had was, as long as you kept this running, you would get the price it said when you started. As soon as this belt stopped or stuttered, it would tell you what you've been paid immediately, but then the price would plummet because you dumped so much stuff into it. So the trick with it on 15, I'm sure it was 17 as well, you had to keep this belt running. No matter what happened, you had to keep it running, because as soon as it spluttered or stopped, your price would just, it would tank. Whereas now, I think the price is set lower, but it's constant, which is always nice. Now I think that's going to hit 50,000 and stop. But I mean, that's not a problem, because all I can do is just leave it, and it should, this is where we might have a problem. Actually, you know what, I'm going to wait. We'll see what happens when it gets to 50,000, because I think when it does, the belt will stop. But in theory, what should happen is, as that then digests some more, the belt should then put more in, and that should just be a continuous thing. That will take a lot longer to do it that way, in all honesty. It's finding that sweet spot, turn up the speed so that it's processing constantly, not too fast. There we go. So hit 50,000. So what's going to happen now is every time that processes a little bit, more comes in. You can see up the top there. So it hits 50,000, then a little bit more goes in. So every time it processes, now that can keep going like that, which is okay. But what I'll do now, if I just put my speed up to ×5, actually even with it at ×5, it's still not processing quick enough. Which potentially means I need to turn time up again to ×15. Wow, even at ×15 it's not. Oh, that's worrying. Okay, ×30. Right, the times 30, we are now at a point where the digester is going faster than the actual conveyor belt can keep up. The problem is with the times 30, we are going to get through the day at a rate. But it does mean we are going to clear this out really quickly. Why has it done that? What on earth? Right, bear with me. I need to sort of, please tell me this is not a glitch. Right, problem solved. I brought the Massey down a little while ago. Well, it was here already. Simply because when I opened the bunker silo, I had that little bit of chaff that was in the front. I needed to move that chaff before I started processing. So all I did, that white bit of sheet that was still sticking down that was in the way, just drove forward with this to do a scoop with the, sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes if you're scooping stuff, the sheet goes back so far then stops. You just have to go in with a bucket or something, and generally speaking it will sort itself out. So what I'll do now is just tip that back onto the pile. And processing can continue. So this will just carry on now. This will just get on with it. Not really much else to say. It's going to chug away for a big part of the day. This is another one of those jobs, like every single one I seem to have done, where I always say this may take a while, and it will take a while. Like I say, I may need to speed up time, but I do want to get the harvest done as well. So what I might do is just leave this chugging away in the background now. Just keep doing that. Do the harvest, then come back to it. Once the harvest is done, then potentially I could just then say, okay, well, I'll just turn up time now. Harvest is out the way. Although I suppose the next thing then is I need to bale, I need to re-prep the fields, and you know, maybe that's something I have to worry about tomorrow. Maybe I should just be focusing on getting this done, because that really is going to be quite a slow process. What we're down to now, 566,000. So we've gone up. We've already shifted over 100,000 litres. That's actually pretty good. Looking at time-wise, we should get through this, I reckon, by lunchtime, you know. Potentially. We have jumped a bit of time, and we are here out on field 32. Did 33? 32, yeah. So, we are continuing on with our oat harvest. That needs to be done. I'm going to do it all in conjunction. I know I said I might just stay with the silage and do this tomorrow, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to get it all done. So while the silage is chugging away going into the bunker, into the digester, I can then flit around doing some other jobs. I'm probably also going to pick up any contracts that pop up. We may get some fertilising jobs, or you know, things like that. If we do, I'll jump on those too, so we can just, you know, keep ticking away, you know, adding money in. It all adds to what we need and paying off the debt. So this is the bit that's going to be a little bit the sort of stuff I normally do off screen. You know, you can see a harvest being done, and I've done them before, and I do time lapses, and I do the little bits of music and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's why on this farm, a lot of the big jobs I've taken on have taken a long time. You know, when you've got multiple fields, when you're doing whatever it might be, whether it's doing the mowing and baling like I did before, or doing all the crops in one go. Especially if you've got one crop type, like I have on all the fields this time, I've done oats across all of them. It takes a long time to harvest them all. So having a couple of jobs on the go at the same time and bouncing backwards and forwards between them is always quite handy. And if you can chuck in some local farm contract work as well into the mix, why not? Kind of keeps you busy. Otherwise you just end up just sitting at the screen, you know, once you've done your headlands yourself, or you know, it depends if you hire a worker or do it yourself, however you want to go about doing it. And I'll keep unloading this, I'll keep ferrying loads up, and we'll be good. It's 12:01. It's update time. We are back at the biogas plant. As you've seen, we have delivered 4 loads of oats. We made 144 grand. It's been a real juggling act today. I said multitasking, juggling act, you know, all of that, all combined. We've also taken on and completed 2 fertilising contracts. One on field 115, one on field 4. So we've done 2 on field 4 today, have we? Or was one last night? Can't remember. Regardless. So where do we stand with regard to all of this? Our harvest is now complete. Oats are all done. All the straw swaths are left on the ground. That's going to be something we do later on. Don't need to worry about that now, but I did want to get the harvest sorted. We're up to 456 grand, so absolutely fantastic. As far as the belts go, I am now fully extended. Fully extended on the front one, fully extended on the centre one. We're right out as far as it will go, and we are now fully extended on this one here. As you can see, we've gone right back into the bunker silo. We have shifted just over half, I think. We're down to 330,000, so we have shifted, yeah, about 346,000, have we? Something like that. So yeah, about halfway through, which is where we need to be. So far from being done by lunchtime, like I said, we'll be done by lunchtime. I have been playing this, as I normally do, on ×1, regular standard time. So that's how long it's taken me to do the harvest and get to this point with half of it shifted. What I am going to do now from this point on, because the harvest is complete, I'm going to speed time up. So I don't do it very often, and the only time I do it is when I'm doing silage like this. I didn't have to do it when I did the silage bales. It seemed to just absolutely tear through those at such a rate. But I am going to on this because it is going very slowly, and we do need to get this processed. It does mean no, I suppose it's almost like a time lapse because we're going to speed the whole thing up. So yeah, 330,000 litres left to clear. I'll speed this up. I may need to get another one of these because of that fact that we are, how far are we from the back? Yeah, it depends on the reach of this really. It is still taking, as you can see, that is going down 328 and dropping it in a bit of time as it goes into silo, but that will all change if I now speed up ×5, ×15, ×30. I say it should. Why is that not now going down? Oh, these belts can be really finicky. Sometimes, weirdly, you just have to jump on the belt. Jump on the belt and it suddenly goes, oh yeah, we're still working, are we? Don't know why it does it. Yeah, turn on belt. It stopped again. Why is it stopped? Oh, this is driving me mad. This has been working absolutely perfect up to now. There we go. Jump on the middle belt. Now then belt starts working again. But the middle belt stops. I don't know, as I literally just walked on the belt and now it's gone, oh yeah, that'll work again now. There we go. Right. So that one is going. That one is going. That one is going. And our pile is now decreasing at a much faster rate. But like I say, it does mean now we're now at 12:42. By the time this clears, we're going to be, I reckon, into the evening to get the rest of it. Well, how did I say that? It's taken us, what, 3 hours, has it, to get this far? So potentially another 3 hours to clear the rest of this. But at this speed, maybe not. Anyway, so that's the update. So that's where we're at. I'm hoping before the end of the episode we'll get all this put in. That bunker silo will be empty. Then I'll be waiting through till midnight to see what we get paid for it. We'll have all the digestate as well. But what I am going to do while I'm here again, there's no more contracts I want to take on. We are going to pay off another 100,000. There we go. We're down to 340,000 left of that loan. 1.75 million we started off at. We're down to 340,000. I reckon with what we get from digestate, from silage overnight, coupled with maybe a bit of work tomorrow with the baling situation, making some pellets, we can clear this debt. Maybe tomorrow. Ooh, exciting times. Right. Whoops, turn it off. I'll see you later on. It's 10 to 5. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but it is what it is. Obviously not being in real time hasn't been as bad, but I thought we'd done by around 3ish, but yeah, not quite sure. We did the first half of the... I'm sure we started about 9 o'clock. Did we start before that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Regardless, it is 10 to 5. I ended up having to get a second one of these intermediate belt systems. I'll turn the lights up. Because it just wouldn't reach. I got to a point where I was trying to tip onto the floor and then pick up again, and it was coughing and spluttering. It didn't like it. So extra belt system put in. That's not fully extended, nor is that, which is fine. And we are down to our last 32,000 litres and dropping. The little massey has been absolutely brilliant, because as this has been kind of gradually working its way back, this side hasn't always cleared properly. So I've just been using that bucket and just shifting 2,000 litres at a time into the middle every now and again when I've needed to. But I think the last time I adjusted this, I put it more central. So we should now, with where it is, be able to clear it. 27,000 litres and dropping, and we'll nearly be done. That'll be all of it in to digest in the digester. At midnight we'll get paid, and we'll find out what we actually earn off of it. And then we'll have all of the digestate, our byproducts from this, we can use on the fields. I mentioned that in the last episode or the one before. And then we'll be moving on to our fields, which I'll show you in the morning, because yeah, we'll do. I'm just very conscious of time. And we're going to be baling, so I'm going to be doing the straw baling, although this has annoyed me somewhat. Let's go that way. Prices. If we go across, if you remember at the barn decided it was going to take pellets, then decided it wasn't going to take pellets, and then it was again. The price for straw pellets was off the charts. It's disappeared again. Earlier it was on there, then it wasn't. When it was on there earlier, the straw price was through the floor. It was 1,200. The other day it was 2,500 and something. So I'm absolutely baffled by this barn situation. It seems every time I put the game on, it's either there or it's not. It seems very hit and miss whether it wants to do straw pellets or not. So having made the decision, you know what, let's get all the straw swath, let's make straw bales, let's pellet it all and make a load of money. Potentially we're not going to. Oh man. Hopefully that will come back on. If not, we'll do straw pallet. I didn't want to do pallets. I wanted to do round bales, do pellets, and see how it all worked out. We are down to our last 9,000 litres, and we will be done. Otherwise, long days. It's a thankless task, but someone's got to do it. 7 and dropping. Like I say, it should take all of this, even right into the corner. It seems to be taking that little pile as we go. Awesome. 676,000 litres. The last 2,500. $1,500. Bunker silo is empty. We are done. That little jump wasn't me in excitement. On my side panel, if I speed up or slow down time, for some reason, if I speed up, it's fine. Slowing down, jumps. I don't know why it does it. It's kind of the jump button too. Right, all belts are now clearing. Actually, no, I need to set that back up again. Just so we can clear these belts. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. They will be clear momentarily, I hope, and then that can just be left to crack away. How much have we got left on these belts? There can't be that much left, surely. I know these long belts hold 12,000 litres on their own, so I suppose potentially, as that gradually goes... what is that still holding? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, nothing left on that belt. That one's done, which means that one's done, which means that one is almost done, which means that one, last 3,000 litres going off that last belt. And that's it, all belts clear. That will now chug away until the digester is empty, the 50,000 litres in that, so we can turn the speed back down to normal. And we are done. Wow, that was quite a task. Like I say, the bouncing between this, as this was going on, it's fine during the day when I was doing the harvest and I was doing fertilising jobs and bouncing backwards and forwards. That said, do we have any more fertilising jobs I could pluck up? Oh yeah. Field 115 needs fertilising again, and 109 and 38 and 17. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? Let's make as much money as we possibly can. So with that said, we have come to the end of this episode. I'm going to grab this. Let's go and grab the Agramash. Let's get some fertilising done. I will see you on the next episode. We'll find out how much we make from the biogas. We'll find out how much digestate we've got. We'll start baling up our straw swaths. We'll then re-prep for what we're going to do with on the fields. Potentially we'll make a start on the straw pellets, but I've got another twist to that as well. So potentially, yeah, something a little bit different with that. I know this would be the third time of doing pellets, but it's a good way to make money, and I'm going to do it slightly differently. So yeah, stay tuned. We need to get debt free, and we're not that far away now. I honestly think tomorrow morning we could be almost there, if not there. Fingers crossed. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like. Give us a like anyway. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.